are live. I still have you guys muted for that specific reason. We are back with Star Wars Roundtable. Finally, Connor has not passed out on us.
Oh my god.
Fuck you.
Yeah. We're doing things a little differently tonight. JP is going to have me take the wheel for this.
I can't read.
He cannot. I was reading along with him last time we did this, and it's like, motherfucker, you need to just know.
No, I said I can't read. She's like, I know.
You need to.
She didn't say anything, but she did give me that look like, yeah, you can't talk. Go ahead.
But yes, we are going to be talking the movie Solo tonight.
One person.
One person.
Just one person's going to talk this whole fucking
show. Get it, everybody.
Because it's Solo. Get it?
I should have put some red Solo cups on the fucking thumbnail, but
that's a good idea.
You know when I started drinking.
So have I. I'm only on my second one, so I need to speed up.
I did a little bit of this. I did a little bit of this. A little bit of that.
I'm on heroin.
Well, I mean, I hope that's not true.
Get away with that.
That is one drug. If I find out any of you ever fucking do that, I will get in my fucking car. I will drive to you, and I will beat the fuck out of you.
It's tempting to try it just to see you attempt to get in your car when you fell out of your fucking chair so many times.
Why did you do heroin? To see JP get out of his car.
I've
already seen it in my mind.
I'm serious. I will beat the fuck out of you. Go ahead though.
I am being joined by Connor, Basement, and Tim, as well as JP for this.
Let chaos reign.
Yeah. Got a quick shout out to Jurgen in the chat there. How you doing? We've missed seeing you in our chat.
So before we start.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I know what she's going to start off with saying, because I know Heather will read everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I want to make it very clear that canonically, this story comes right after a couple of years after the Revenge of the Sith.
Right there, Cankly.
Which kind of fucking verifies the age difference between Han Solo and
Leia.
Because Leia and Luke are like running around shitting their pants now as toddlers.
Yeah. I still preferred the books.
Like when Heather was running around in fucking
diapers while he was entering high school.
Yeah,
but we're...
I'm not gonna say that.
Well, that was.
He was 13 and I was just.
I was 14.
So. We're
off to a great start here.
While he was entering high school, and now he's entering you.
Go ahead.
But before we get into the actual synopsis of this movie, I want thoughts from everybody on this movie without going into detail. We'll start with Tim.
Okay, first.
Oh Christ.
That's why he's going first.
This is your round table, JP.
Just what did you think of the movie? Nobody cares. Go ahead.
I did not want to like this movie.
He's echoing for me. He's echoing.
Actually,
everybody's echoing.
Trust me, he always echoes for me. Just let him go.
I wanted to not like this movie.
Okay.
It isn't as bad as I remembered it being.
Mm-hmm.
But they did great with their secondary character casting, which Star Wars generally does.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's it.
All right.
I'm being nice to JP for once.
Okay.
Yeah. Basement, what did you think?
I remember watching this when it first came. Wow, I'm echoing. I remember watching this when it first came out, or close to, like not in theaters or anything like that. And I heard everyone's like, "Oh, this movie's fucking shit. It's garbage. It's horrible." I never thought it was that bad when it first came out. I didn't understand why people hated it so much. I get as soon as I'm like, this is what I'm gonna expect because first of all, you're recasting one of the most iconic characters.
Yes.
It's not going to be very well received, no matter how fucking amazing it is, unless he's better at Han Solo than the original Han Solo,
which is
not the
impossible
case.
because it was Harrison Ford.
I have an argument for that, but go ahead.
Everything that's kind of in this movie for the most part is passable. I liked it actually a little bit less on a rewatch than I liked it at first. That might just be like the rewatch issue. But it's such a very like average movie. An average, I would say, that's the best word I can use for it. Average. It didn't blow me away in any aspect. There's things I don't like about it.
That blew me away, but I'll get into it.
Very generic. But I think they had to be.
Yeah, they kind of had to.
And then telling a story that we all know. It's well, yeah, for the most part. It tries to flesh out a little bit of things, and you kind of get more. It feels like they held back a lot because they did not want to make people that are fans of Han Solo as Harrison Ford angry, and it kind of hurts where this movie could have gone.
I can agree with that, but I'll hold my thoughts. Go ahead.
That's all I have.
All right, Connor?
So, a lot of similar sentiments like Basement said. We were talking about this before we hopped on. The best thing, first off, this movie was an uphill battle right from the get-go, even when they just announced it. And it's the same sentiments that I had with Black Widow in terms of you're going backwards to tell an origin story about a character that's
already dead.
Black Widow is not as well established as Solo is in the Star Wars franchise, but my point being is that you know where things are headed. That being said, I think it, like Basement said, it was a very passable movie. There are a couple of things I actually really enjoyed about this, but in my personal opinion, yeah, the secondary characters are the reason I really enjoyed this more than anything. Alden Ehrenreich, I hope I'm saying his name right, the guy who plays Han Solo, I think he did okay, but no matter who you put in there, unless it was Harrison Ford, again, uphill battle. So it's kind of one of those things where I let a lot of things slide because it's like you're damned in a lot of ways right off the bat before you even write the script. It was very like middle of the road for me. There's pockets here and there that I enjoyed, characters here and there I enjoyed. Visually, again, Star Wars fucking knocked it out of the park with some of their visual aspects in this movie, which we'll get to. But yeah, I thought it was just kind of middle of the road. I didn't hate this movie, but I could definitely see why hardcore fans specifically, were like, "Fuck this shit" and flipping it. I can 1000% see them why they'd hate this.
I don't think anybody could look at this movie and be like, "Oh, it's fucking 2 out of 10," because it's just not. It can't be. It's not right.
No.
But anybody that's like to equal those people is like, "Oh no, I thought it was a 9." It's not. It's definitely not.
Heather said this on a previous stream, and I would also kind of like secondary this. This would be a great Disney Plus show if they fleshed it out a little bit more and expanded some like parts of it, or this also gives. Boom. It also feels like check out this new Disney Channel Plus original movie.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead, JP.
Oh no, I'll wait.
It also
Solo and you're watching Disney Channel.
If it was a Disney Plus show, I think it would suffer from what a lot of Disney Plus shows do. They do not use the episodic format right. They, for some reason, you could tell a story, get more involved. They all they do is they take a fucking 2.5 hour movie and turn it 8 hours, but they don't add content.
No, they don't.
It seems like they just fucking add shit that doesn't matter and boring garbage.
Or
this
they
is
add
done right.
We need to have a cameo by this character.
Yeah, if done right, it would have been a better show than a movie. I agree with you there, but I have no fucking hope in Disney in general.
Well, no, but there's like 3 clear arcs. Acts, excuse me, not arcs. There's 3 clear acts as far as like what the overall story is, and I could just when I was watching this, I could very clearly see like, yeah, I get to this being split up into 2 episodes, or the cliffhanger being here, or this and that, and like segueing in. I just feel like it's more like flush broken in the movie in terms of like here, then here, then here. Like it wasn't. It flowed weird.
I feel like it does. It does definitely flow word. That's a huge problem with this movie. But I think a lot of the problem with this movie too is that there's not like the overarching plot isn't really that important. There's nothing.
Oh, that's
Like there's
we'll get to
important
that,
moments and things, but everything's like what like the actual like.
I hate Solo's driving force.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's
there-
nothing.
There is,
It
and I hate it.
disappears in like 2 seconds.
I hate it.
It disappears in 2 seconds,
What?
and there's just no. The theme, the whole movie's theme, isn't strong enough to carry a movie, which is why I think the pacing feels also fucked up because they have to like find these little things that mean more in the moment.
I would have liked them to have adapted a little bit from the book origin story. I'm not going to get into it.
They did.
A little bit of it, yes, but there were
Not a little bit of it. Not even. It was one scene.
yes, and I know you and I know the scene.
No, actually, there's more than one scene. But
Yeah,
we'll get into it.
What I would have liked them to do a lot more.
Go ahead, Tim.
That's what pissed off hardcore Star Wars fans. They're like, you already have this great origin story. Why don't you just use that?
They did. They did. They just didn't fucking shove it down your throat.
No, I get it.
Go ahead, Basement. I'm sorry.
I honestly feel like they should have leaned a lot heavier into it being a space western.
Yes.
I think they
That is,
tried.
They try, and there's moments of it and there's flashes of it, but it doesn't ever feel like it has its own like creative.
It's a weird pivot like
world.
halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Around the
it's
halfway
definitely
point,
within the Star Wars world, but it just doesn't feel. It tries to feel like a western and fails. But if it did feel like one, they have moments. They have even like shots that are reminiscent of westerns. It's just it never really succeeds in doing that, and I think that's where this movie should have been in order for it to be.
They needed to accomplish 3 things in this movie.
Okay.
I don't think.
With the
what are
yes,
3 things?
Yeah.
they did.
What 3
Okay.
things?
The Kessel Run,
Yep.
Okay.
the ending,
Yeah.
and the reveal in this movie.
Yeah, but I also feel like they did. Okay, they did
So-
do those things.
So
And then
they
they did,
did
like,
do those
50 other
things?
things.
Yes, they're making another fucking movie is what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
They did
Right.
too many. They did too many things in this
But
movie.
but here's
Like what?
here's the argument I would say to that though. Fine, if that's your goal to check off just those 3 boxes, then fine, mission accomplished. But
No. See, the thing is the mission is not accomplished.
no, I'm saying is that if you're saying is that what their goal was to establish those 3 things, then fine, they did those 3 things. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
The problem is everything else.
Yeah.
not everything else, but like if you're making not saying that they did this, but my argument to that is, or my counter argument to that is, if you're going into this of like, oh, as long as the movie does these 3 things or establishes these 3 things or establishes more like canonicity towards where we know Han Solo is going, then fine, it does that.
It does.
Like there's character beats and moments that he has that show up with Han in later movies, which okay, thumbs up there. But the other factors of the movie, in a lot of cases, kind of suffers for it.
I disagree. I know right where they're going.
And for the record, Marvel does this way too much.
But they're
This movie
moving the
is-
story forward. They're not going backwards. It's not going to be a prequel. This is actually going to be...
This is a prequel. This
No,
movie
no.
we're talking about.
Next one that
I don't
the
even
next-
know if-
Next
No.
Solo that they make is not going to be a prequel. It is actually going to be an extension
Okay, but
of
like
what happened.
for this one specifically, it's really piecemeal. There's not like I like Paul Bettany. I like his character. I like what they do with him. But if I was to rewrite this, I would have gotten rid of that character entirely.
I'll
You
be-
need an overall fucking driving force that's the enemy, and it should have been Darth Maul. and she should have been secretly working for him. And that should have been it. Get rid of Paul Bettany.
I disagree. I liked the reveal.
I'm not saying the reveal isn't bad.
We'll get into it. We'll get into that part.
Yep, we'll get into that. That's all you're on.
You can still do the reveal. All I'm saying is they really fuck around with characters that.
Well, the reveal is one of those stories.
Yeah, but
the reveal is actually a book. That's going to go into a book, and I'm going to tell you.
I'm not saying anything about the reveal. The reveal's fine. The reveal needs to be part of it. It's like, why have this side? Who's the bad guy in this movie?
She is.
She is.
Which is why it's fucking terrible.
What?
I don't like her character for different reasons.
She's terribly. She's not well written, and she's not well acted.
Let's kick this puppy.
I disagree, but go ahead.
Anyway, because we spent a half hour just doing the beginning talk.
That's what, and JP can't blame me for any of that.
Well,
for once.
Go ahead.
All right. In this second Star Wars standalone spin-off film, it opens with the traditional "a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away." Across the known galaxy during the early years of the First Galactic Empire, organized crime syndicates are running rampant due to rampant lawlessness on the Mid and Outer Rim worlds since the fall of the Galactic Republic, forcing others to fight for survival. On the industrial shipbuilding planet Corellia, Lady Proxima, leader of the White Worms gang, is after a hyperfuel known as coaxium. Meanwhile, one young man seeks a way out of Corellia for good. This, I'm going to go on because that was just a preamble. That man is Han, played by Alden Ehrenreich. So you were right there, Connor. After getting his hands on some coaxium, he meets with his girlfriend, Kira, as they plan to escape. They are found by some of Proxima's minions and are taken to her, where she demands the coaxium. Han takes out a rock that he pretends is a thermal detonator and throws it at the walls to bring in sunlight, which Proxima and her species are allergic to. Han and Kira run and evade the worms as they chase after them, managing to lose them after Han gets them through a tight spot in a wall with a stolen speeder. But they end up stuck and have to continue running on foot.
That's a good place to stop.
Yes, I was going to say we'll pause it right there. So yeah, giant worm species is leading Han Solo to his demise.
Well,
we have
to remember Han Solo grew up on this planet.
Yes.
So this is where he was born. This is where he grew up. This is where his ship comes from. It's a Corellian ship. But
white light freighter, if I remember correctly.
I don't care. That's fine.
I know random.
I'm not going to get too deep into the character.
What a dick.
Sorry.
That's just fun.
I'm sorry. I'm just not going to get that deep into the character. Yeah, just so he liked freighters, and I get that. But my point is, this was a good introduction to him.
Yes, it was.
The setup's fun. The setup's fun. I actually like, so echoing Basement's setup or like the Western concept, this intrigued me. Like the idea of like the underbelly, for lack of a better term, the underbelly of the empire, of like being the empire being established in these like lawlessness areas. And I like the fact they're like, oh yeah, because fuel and money and this like this material, the coaxium, is like fucking gold around here. Duh, because it can power ships and power a fleet and blah blah.
It's a hyperfuel that'll get you out of that system.
The hyperdrive vent.
I would have loved if they never left that seedy underbelly environment.
I 1,000% agree with you on that. I wish they, or at the very least, I wish they fleshed it out a little bit more. But given the nature of the story, I get why they did it. But yeah,
again,
fun.
This is where being a series would have been better because then you could have spent the first 2 episodes exploring that seedy underworld.
I actually thought this was fun.
I wouldn't have them leave the seedy underbelly part until they fucking got the ship and left the planet. I wouldn't have them fly until then. But I would have had a completely different outlook on this. But whatever. What did you think of the worm people? Pretty cool design. I thought.
This is one thing the Star Wars universe is always extremely good at, and that's creature creation.
I have that actually in my notes here, is that like some of the things where it's like you see alien species or types that you've never seen in any other thing canonically with any other Star Wars stuff, and you're like, yeah, I can fucking dig that because it's fucking Star Wars. You can get away with anything.
It's the whole galaxy.
They're like vampire worms. Like sunlight immediately burned their ass.
Because what happens? They're taking it based off of earthworms. What happens when they're out in the sun too long? They dry out.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same concept, just more amped up.
Mm-hmm.
It was neat. I liked it. I liked the worms. I liked the opening area. Okay, so I was just thinking about this. Do you guys think like Eldon, what was his name? Aldenreich or some shit?
Yeah, Alden, yeah.
Doesn't he feel like a poor man's version of Chris Pine?
Yes.
I think. Hold on.
Almost, yeah.
Yes! I was thinking that too! Holy shit, I couldn't think of the actor's name. Oh my fucking god, yes. Chris Pine.
Yes.
From,
he was in Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman,
Three
yeah.
Dragons.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're talking about the character he
also.
played for Wonder Woman, specifically.
Because they really try to hit those same comedic
Kirk
beats.
from Star Trek, the new one?
Yeah.
Fucking,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's him!
You know what it is though, and I think this is why they cast him, because he tries to hit those comedic beats, but he comes off sometimes as just a douchebag. His face, he's got douchebag face.
Well,
But it kind of like, I mean, Han
Let's
Solo's
keep
supposed to
in
be
mind
a
that
prick.
Solo is a douchebag.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a dickhead. But it's just, it's weird because Solo is a douchebag in what he says, where this kid's a douchebag in his face.
Acts. Yeah.
Yeah, which is the one problem I have with him is like I never really bought him as Han Solo. It just I like this movie more thinking he's a different character.
Yeah.
Because he's fine. It's just like there's certain things that like you don't carry over. He hasn't fully grasped the character, I don't think.
No,
and I think there was a lot of complaints about his acting or something
movie.
in this movie.
So the thing with Han's character is kind of weird. Like I didn't get the same like vibe of like this is how he'll turn out. Like we see him in the later movies until about I'd say like the last third. You saw bits in. Which makes sense, but you see bits and pieces of that grow and develop with certain like character interactions and little like things like the don't trust anybody, which we'll get to.
The mannerisms, like the physical side of him that never really carried over.
To piggyback off of that.
You also have to remember this is his younger life before those tragedies happened to change him into the Han Solo that we know.
And
and I get that.
Piggyback also, you do see certain character traits like his ego is readily apparent.
He's very arrogant, yeah.
Yeah, just with the speeder chase, when it did set, he's like, I can fit, we'll fit. We didn't fit.
Well, the writing is there. Didn't make it to the end of the hallway.
The writing for him is there.
That one.
The writing for him is there. Like the mental aspect is there. There's physical characteristics and trait mannerisms that don't carry over.
Right.
He tried.
That's where he fails with it, but it's good everywhere else. So
yeah,
I mean, like I never hated it anyway. A lot of people were fucking hating this guy. I don't like.
Yeah, I never understood that myself.
Well, that's because they were all comparing him to.
Because they just wanted Harrison Ford de-aged, which would have been terrible.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, people bitched about it with fucking Indiana Jones. It would have been worse with this because de-aging was just starting with this movie.
So they both, like him and fucking Emilia Clarke, I don't know what her name is.
Yep.
Kira? Okay. Yeah, they both grew up on that planet, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, they did.
Why is she English?
Who cares? Who cares?
That's a pretty big mission.
I will say, having watched Game of Thrones, I was full on expecting once she was later on in this movie, what she became. I was full on expecting that Daenerys.
It just never really.
Why is she riding a dragon in space?
I mean,
I don't know.
Dragon.
She is probably the biggest negative, and it's not just her.
So
I think
if
her
the language, the accent is gonna, I just don't understand the accent part of shitting on it. I'm just gonna say it.
I mean, what the fuck?
That's very wooden.
So
no,
I
but
understand. I understand her acting, but the
place.
accent is the least of my worries.
Same.
Yeah,
I have a lot of other worries.
If you have paid any attention to anything in Star Wars, there's a lot of English accents.
All right,
Yeah, what if she had a Jamaican accent?
There's been
That'd be
that
weird.
in Star Wars too.
Yeah, because nobody else has a fucking Jamaican accent.
Come on now, Han. We got to skip.
I'm
mean,
saying the accent
okay.
stands out because there's no reason for it not to. This is a big budget film with a lot of fucking work put into it. That is like rookie mistake having
Okay.
the
How's
wrong
that a
fucking
rookie
accent.
mistake, though? I don't understand. Explain. I don't
It doesn't-
understand. I
it
don't
doesn't make-
understand the
It
accent.
doesn't make any sense.
Why would
does
she
it
have an
not?
English? Why would she have a? Why would she have a
Why would
British
she have an
accent?
English? Yeah, why does she have a British accent?
Why does he have an American accent?
Right.
Because everybody else there speaks like American.
Right.
But my point is,
Well, you
does
got
it really
aliens there
matter?
too.
I mean, it's a nitpick detail. It's just like she
It's
knows
a
how to do an American
Pretty
accent. So like,
fucking
why?
standard. It's a pretty standard thing. In
It's a
movie
weird
making.
it's a weird little nugget. But personally, I'm just gonna say this right now. Accent aside, I did not like Kira at all in this movie.
No, she's the
Well,
worst character.
I mean,
And-
fucking Ewan McGregor. Why was he British? Why did he have an accent? Do you see
Because
what
he
I'm
was-
saying? I don't.
But they're from
Yeah,
the same, but she's from the same planet as Han in theory, right? At least that's how it's presented.
That's where I could buy it if she was from Britannia, planet.
Okay, so now I see. Okay,
Right.
but again, I say this: we have British-speaking people on our planet. Why can't we have British-speaking people on that
I'm
planet?
just
Again,
saying-
it's implied that they're both from the same planet.
yeah.
So so unless it's
And the
flushed out as
same
like, oh,
place.
my
There's
parents
no one
came
else
over here
can-
from somewhere else, then fuck, like
It's
just,
a line away from just making sense.
Yeah, that's
or
all.
just make her speak like he does. I don't
That's
even know
all.
if she continues with the fucking English accent throughout
I
the whole
don't,
movie.
I don't know. I think it fluctuates like that.
Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
She's just terrible.
Anyway, I don't buy into the whole shitting on. I'm not saying you're shitting on it, but I don't buy into the whole accent.
I'm shitting on her
being
for
a
I'm shitting on her
problem.
for different reasons, and in fact, let's just keep.
This is
going.
where it begins for me.
Yeah,
But like, she seems like she's acting in a fucking B-level romance movie.
I don't like the love story. Period. I don't like the romance between the two of them. I think
Also,
You don't need it. It's not
Do you
needed.
find- do you find
It's
her
forced for
her face and what she's supposed to be emoting never kind of go together?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what she's thinking 90% of the time. She's
Okay.
trying to emote something and she looks like she's seducing the air.
truth be told, I didn't mind her acting too much for her. My problem is honestly is just and this is just probably a personal thing. When I think of Han Solo, I think of the outlaw rebel that bucks the rules and says fuck everything and only cares realistically about like himself and his fucking furry Chewbacca.
I'll be right back.
That's the way I've always pictured and envisioned him, and then like he
Yeah,
finds love
that's-
through Leia, right? But like to have a
And-
romance before Leia seems a little like against the character.
Well, I get the idea of having a romance beforehand because, like, they're supposed to show why he's so, like, hard-shelled and why he's so dismissive to, like... He's kind of like
I
a
know.
dickhead with Leia. But they never really go the full mile. They go... he's, like, head over heels with this girl. He's like, I'll change my whole fucking life for you.
Well, that's
And
what I'm
then, like,
saying. Like, I'd rather
betrayal
be.
happens and he's just staring off into space.
I would rather it be like a before thought or like something that like we see flashbacks of. I didn't want it in this movie, but at the same time, I guess I get your point in terms of like this is what makes him him.
But
So
they don't do it. They don't do it well.
Yeah, I didn't like that part of it. That honestly was probably
Also-
one of, if not the biggest negative for me about this whole film.
They also drop it really fucking fast in this movie, where it's like his whole reason for doing everything is, and then it's like, okay, yeah, and that's done.
But anyhow,
But we'll get there.
moving on.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time we
Yeah,
say we're going to get there. We'll talk about it, folks.
Yeah.
We'll get drunk, but we'll get drunk before the first act. Sorry, Heather. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. At the nearby spaceport, Han and Kira evade Imperial stormtrooper guards and bring the coaxium to a female Imperial officer as a bribe to help them escape. They nearly make it to freedom until they are spotted by the worms again.
Damn worms.
Han is able to make it out, but Kira is captured. Separated by a security guard, Han promises to find a way to get her out. Now on his own, Han decides to enlist as a pilot for the Empire. He speaks to a recruitment officer and he asks Han his full name. When he can't give him a surname, when the officer sees he is alone and has no family, he dubs him Han Solo.
That to me was so stupid.
Lamest fucking origin of his name.
Well,
I could
Yeah, it's so lame.
lame.
So
It's so,
fucking lame.
well, you're by yourself, though.
I'd rather Han have come up with it.
Who are your people? Who are your people?
I don't
What?
have a people.
I have no people. Solo. So then there should be a bunch of solos.
There
It's like
should be,
Bastard
yes.
Game of Thrones.
I would have rather Han have come up with it on his own rather than the fucking guard.
Yeah, that would have felt a little more.
Like, yeah, I would have still shit on it, but like not as much as the fucking guard.
Or
Be
even
like,
if he was wearing like someone's uniform with the fucking last name Solo on it, and they just called him that after that. I'd accept any. This was probably the worst option.
Yeah,
Han alone.
having Han give the name would have at least felt a little more organic than having the officer who's enlisting him into it.
Hi, I'm Han Single.
First name Han, last
Han.
name D.
I'm Han, head of household.
I need Han D. Give me a Han D.
Anyway, moving on.
You what? What do you think
Sorry.
about him getting that Solo name? It was pretty lame. The way that they explained it.
You know what? I don't care. I don't
But you
care
don't care
about
about
anything.
anything.
How he got his name. That I don't care about. Because I
Man, you
assume
don't care about anything.
no. So I don't
lame.
remember that happening in the movie. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember.
When he
it.
enlisted, the guard sat there, right? Han
Solo.
Oh, so he just named himself Han Solo.
Well,
Whatever.
No, the guard.
No, the
named
guard
himself.
The guard
the guard
named him, and the
Solo.
guard was like, "Who are your people?" And he's like, "I have no people." Oh, Solo then.
Oh, well, that's pretty
Was
cool.
he enlisting with fucking
Han
friends?
Kunta Kinte.
Han Party 1. It would have felt better if Han had come up with the last name.
Yes, I would have
opposed
at
to
least
the
I would have shaved off half the shitting on it that I would have at the
Even
guard's
if they
like,
did like a Kaiser Sose thing, and he looks in the background, it's like Solo, cup.
So, low.
He's
Solo.
fucking jerking out of a Solo cup. He comes up with it. Whatever, man. It was pretty lame.
Yeah.
This is where the action starts picking up. The story jumps ahead 3 years. Han is fighting on the muddy, foggy planet Mimban as an Imperial infantryman. He has since been kicked out of the Imperial Flight Academy for insubordination. Most of the fighters on his side are killed, but Han manages to find 3 thieves posing as fighters. Tobias Beckett, his girlfriend Val, and the alien Rio Durant. Hell of a name. Fed up with constant conflicts, Han wants to join them after telling them he's a good pilot. But Beckett refuses to let him join, even after Han threatens to blackmail them. Beckett sets Han up to be arrested, lying to some Imperial officers. Han is taken by guards and thrown into a pit to be fed to a beast. The beast turns out to be the Wookiee, Chewbacca. He attacks Han, but when Han reveals he can speak the Wookiee language, they decide to work together to break out. Han uses Chewie to break the beam that's keeping them bound together, collapsing the ceiling and spilling the 2 guards that threw Han into the pit down to the floor. The 2 escape and see Beckett, Val, and Rio leaving on a ship, hoping to have caught a ride. Rio manages to convince Beckett to bring the 2 on board since the immense strong Chewie could work well as extra muscle.
I'm going to say this now. They followed this to the T with the story of where they went. This is actually in the book. So them introducing this is what Lucas agreed to. Let's keep this in mind. George Lucas agreed to this. Everything that happens here is all him. He agreed to this story because he didn't want to ever tell his story.
yeah.
But then he's like, okay,
This whole scene, truth be told,
if you're gonna fucking do it
Do it right.
my way. So they went by the story that was actually.
Yeah.
truth be told,
Chewie from Imperial enslavement.
do it.
That's
Truth
all.
be
That's
told-
all I wanted to
Damn it.
say. Go
Oh,
ahead.
God.
That's all I wanted to say.
truth be told, I loved everything about this scene.
I popped
I
in the
have
theater.
no
We saw this in the theater when it first came out. I popped when Chewie showed up.
I have no complaints, really, honestly. None.
Yeah.
I actually loved everything about this.
This whole sequence is actually good. It's
Yeah.
probably the best sequence. The beginning of this movie is actually really good. Honestly,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
Did they say? Did I miss it? Why? How he can speak Wookiee?
He just said he speaks a little bit of it, but I love how like he instantly tries to communicate and they plot a way to escape, and just the whole thing was just fun. Like it was fun, and you could see Han like being involved in this kind of like what shenanigans is he going to get involved with kind of, and this is kind of like another one of those like I can see this being a Disney Plus show ish. By the way,
This reminds me of the Dungeons and Dragons movie at the beginning of that because it's kind of the same.
By the way, Rio Duran sounds like a Vegas headliner.
Yes.
I loved that character for some
Oh, I did
reason.
too. Why do you think I changed my?
Well, if you didn't know, Jon Favreau voiced that character.
Jay
Yeah.
Leno?
It's Happy Hogan.
Yes.
Leno.
But no, I have no complaints. I think the introduction of Chewie was fun because it shows like them bonding together because like Chewie then's loyal to Han for breaking
Well, he
free.
owes him a life debt, and that is
Right.
explained.
I was about to go there, JP, and you beat me to it. It was a Wookiee life debt. Yep.
So good.
Like,
So I
fucking,
no complaints.
What's his tits? From the last series? Jar Jar Banks, life debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
What do you
God.
guys think of the whole
Yeah, he
action set
still
piece
hasn't
with the
fulfilled.
train?
The what?
The whole action set piece with the train.
We haven't
Oh.
gotten there yet.
We haven't gotten there
Coming
yet.
up.
Oh, we're not there yet? Oh,
Not
fuck.
yet.
Nope.
No,
I'm-
That is
That's
the
close.
next paragraph.
But I think we're all in agreement here where it's that scene with Han and Chewie meeting up and getting together. It was probably the best scene in the movie. Close to, maybe not the best scene, but
It's
character introductions. That I loved how they did that.
as far as
Right
like this
out of the
movie.
book.
This movie is gonna be like built for nostalgia because it's the origin story for a character we all know. That was pretty good. Like those are like it happened a couple times in the fucking Spider-Man movie with little Spider-Man, where it's like, I know this what they're doing to me. I know what they're doing, but I will applaud them still.
But yeah, so I have no problems with this scene. And I don't care. Han butchering the Wookiee language is still funny as fuck. He's like, I speak little. You grab and destroy me. Bar something.
Also, Chewie and them showering together was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then having sex later on.
You know, you could have just waited. That's the other thing too, is like and we'll talk about them when we get to the other Star Wars movies, is the banter between Han and Chewie. And I love like those type of like character dynamics where you have one character that you can't understand, but the reaction or the dialogue with the other character who speaks perfect English, you can piecemeal it together. And that's one of the dynamics I love about Han and Chewie throughout this
yeah,
and the other.
that is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, they do that a lot in Star Wars. R2D2 is
No, but I'm just
No,
saying,
yeah.
as when it's done well with that type of dynamic, it's fun, and it just reminded me of that with like the early goings of these two going at it. It's like, no, they only brought me on board. They only brought you because I was the package deal. It's like, no, they fucking wanted Chewbacca because he was the muscle.
Also, I'll say it now. This movie visually is fucking pretty top tier.
Yeah.
I said that earlier, especially when we get to the Kessel part later on. But yeah,
Oh, they did so many different planets with this movie. It surprised me. We had Corellia, this one that I can't remember, Kessel, the next planet we're gonna. They did what, like 5 planets in this movie?
They also do a great mix of like practical and visual effects, and the visual effects don't look bad.
nope.
So
No, they don't.
I want to say this real quick. I pretty much, everybody knows my thoughts on this stuff as far as storytelling. Like, so with Star Wars for me. Do you want to know how I'm trying to explain this. I'm being serious. I'm trying to explain how I became such a huge Star Wars fan. I had a friend who's a soldier that I think I spoke about I was his team leader. He was killed. We laid in a Connex and just talked Star Wars because he was my bunkmate. So we just laid and talked Star Wars. One of the Solo story is one of those stories that I wanted to know where he came from. They never really explain it. That's why I love the lore of Star Wars. This actually followed the storyline pretty close. The acting, on the other hand, was not too great.
Yeah, that dragged it down.
But the scenes, this scene in particular, where are we at?
Where they
Chewbacca?
first
They're on the
Chewbacca
planet.
and Beckett and Rio and Val.
So it's everything that they're doing is what I would have imagined it to be honest with you. So they've done a pretty good job of doing the story. The Kira thing, I think that's actually like an add-on. I'm not too sure because I don't remember her origin. So that is Disney when I say that Disney's they're doing a lot of combining expanded universe with canon and creating their own characters.
Yeah.
I'll
let you go. I'll go after you.
So that's this scene. I do like the we haven't even gotten to Lando yet, have we?
Not yet, no.
Okay. So the introduction of little like R2D2 characters, you're gonna see that start. You can't not do a Star Wars movie without that stuff.
Yep.
I think it's a fan service kind of thing. But that's the kind of fan service I don't mind is introduction of new robots and droids into the Star Wars lore.
I never felt like this movie beat me over the head with fan service, which is great.
It did. It really did to me. So I will tell you, this movie was more fan service than you think. Now let me preface this by saying if you like this is why I said what I said just a few minutes ago about why I love Star Wars so much is those little detailed like these things here that they do. I love it. To me, that's what I want. If you're gonna do something, do it the way it was meant to be, not what you think it should be. That's where I think that Star Wars is kind of swaying off.
Yeah.
They're swaying off of, and I get why they want to do their own thing, but I want them to still
have the little nuances.
Give little things. You don't have to fucking shove it down my throat where it's Skywalker.
Yeah.
Do callbacks to it. Do callbacks to it. I don't mind that, and I think they tried doing that with this movie a little bit. Yeah. But they didn't.
This movie is like, I think for you guys that have read the material outside the movies, right? You probably you're noticing a lot more, way more, right?
Right.
But like for me that just watched the movies, they're not fucking. Do you remember this? Remember this? Remember this? Every second.
They're not browbeating it to you. Yeah. I would say if it's fan service, which I'm not saying it's not, but if it is, they're at least blending or camouflaging it extremely well to make it flow naturally with the story.
In this.
So
no shit.
I will ask this. Like, give me a scene that was one of your favorite scenes in this movie.
This one.
Right?
The one with Chewie, yeah.
Yeah, Chewie's
it's fan
good.
service. That is fan service.
I get fan service.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying that's fan service.
The scene with that
is obvious. That is an obvious fan service. Give me something that isn't so obvious that you think that you liked that you didn't know was fan service, and I'll tell you if it was fan service.
Oh well, then I can't be included in this one because I know what.
No, it's not that there's things in this that it's not. I'm just saying that every minute they're not hitting you with remember this, remember this, remember this. If you watch the movies only. Right? Yes, fan service. It's fucking everything's going to relate to the story that was made. It's not really. That's an adaptation. I don't know if that's fan service so much, but like the big moments in this movie they do right. And Connor said it before. everything in between is kind of a bit of a mess. And the things in between aren't going to be my favorite scenes because they're the things I don't like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
Everything that's great about this movie is part of the actual storyline from the books or whatever, and they do those scenes amazingly. But everything else is not.
Now, as I was saying earlier, Han's love interest in the books, I'm not going to go too far down this rabbit hole, was Bria Theron, and she ended up being a member of the rebellion. That's all I'm going. They replaced Bria with Kira. That's basically what Disney did.
I would have preferred his love interest die.
Well, in the books, she actually does die.
Man.
It makes sense though because he's so like he's more like callous, not as easy to like get into anything that's more than surface level. It would make sense for his character to have suffered some sort of like tragedy in the past instead of what they kind of. I mean, I know they're getting to that. But
that's why I said it's not over.
Yeah,
they're making another movie.
I don't know. Are they for sure?
So
with these guys?
They're going to. They're going to.
I know
With
it got
how
like
this movie
pretty
ended,
poor reception.
You know
that's
they're
why.
going to. You know they're going to.
You'd think it would.
And I'm okay with it. And I'm
you
okay
think it would
with
have already come out? Like they're gonna make the movie like 15 years later, which I mean could work
It's not going to be 15 years later though.
in real life.
No. They're just going to do an extension of the story.
yeah.
They'll probably pick it up right after where they left off.
No,
Well,
in
and this
real
movie was
life.
only made in 2018.
Yeah, so the next one's probably gonna be 2030.
Mm-mm.
Probably.
The next Star Wars movie?
Well,
No, the next
either way,
Solo
all I'm
movie.
saying is the story's
Oh.
not done. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Alright. The crew rests for the night on the snow-covered planet Vandor before their upcoming job.
I watched that show.
Yeah. As they sit around a campfire, Val figures that Han has joined them for a girl. Becca tells Han that they are trying to steal a large amount of coaxium from a train for the people they work for. Beckett disassembles a DL-44 blaster rifle he's brought with him, stripping it down into a pistol that he gives to Han.
Fan service.
I'll go into the next paragraph because that's basically nothing. The next day, the crew spots the train and they go in for the heist. They find the coaxium, but they are attacked by a gang of Cloud Riders. I like that name. The crew fights them off. but
Because they're
Rio-
high.
The crew fights them off, but Rio is shot as he flies the ship overhead, forcing Han to pilot the ship. Rio then succumbs to his wounds. Val is at the end of the tracks, just over a cliff where the Cloud Riders ambush her. No, they didn't, but okay. To ensure they don't get the others or the coaxium, she blows herself up with the tracks, causing the train to plummet to the ground. Han also ends up dropping the coaxium, realizing that the craft isn't powerful enough to yank it away from the Cloud Riders. The coaxium explodes, collapsing a big portion of the mountain. We'll pause it right there. She was actually attacked by the Viper droids, not the Cloud Riders.
Yeah.
Didn't she? Oh no, yeah, you're right.
She couldn't
The
make it
Viper
in
droids
time.
up
She notified-
the Viper droids and
Yes.
Cloud Riders attacked
She
them.
notified them that
The
those
Viper droids
fucking-
were on their way, and then she distracted the droids so that they could.
But she
focus
also
on the
notified
Cloud
them that
Riders.
the Cloud Riders were on their way.
Yeah.
Yep. Pirates.
And that's where they got confused.
Yeah.
The Flag Smashers? Yeah, they were on the way.
I have no idea how pissed off I was with that reveal.
And
What's that?
I literally was like, I'm like, this bitch.
she's the same character? No!
God.
We'll get into it.
It's the same fucking
When we
thing.
get to the
Disney.
reveal.
Lazy ass Disney.
So, Jesus Christ. The train scene was fun.
Hmm
Yeah.
I really like the action set piece.
Visually, it was cool. Man, seeing a train going outside like that, fucking fun piece right there.
Again, Marvel could learn CGI from fucking Star Wars.
Listen, I'm not the fucking gatekeeper of goddamn Marvel. I'll admit when it sucks, okay? And right now... Anyway, so I like the train scene. It was really fun.
No, I was just gonna say, there's your country western or western.
It's a
train heist.
Yeah.
This is what I say. They
Space
tried.
Western.
It just never feels
Well, it never
like it
fully
should.
achieves that moment.
I get that.
Yeah.
Gonna take the train.
Nah, yeah. It's fucking son of a bitch.
So, first off, gotta give pour some drink on the floor here for Rio Duran fucking getting shot in shit.
I just got shot in one of my shoulders.
Guy.
One of my shoulders is what he said.
Yeah, I'm like, he's just gonna rest his eyes. He's fucking dead, dude.
He's like, laser beam through the heart.
God damn it.
Whatever, man.
Shot through the heart, and you're to blame.
This is a fun scene. I love how you see Elvis Nest. What the fuck's her name? Elvis Nest.
Val, you mean? Or
No, Enver Nest. Fucking Flag Smasher.
Oh, the Cloud
Oh,
Rider.
Who's a black
Yeah, the name of them.
I'm just picturing them all fucking sequence. Oh,
Yeah, like
they
I love
use the
it.
same
When,
girl
yeah,
in this.
you ain't nothing but a hound dog.
and when she lands on the train, it's clearly like a 6'2" man.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm shrinking and turning an albino black girl.
Give me trainer. So
That's a fun scene.
I will say that like the part that was kind of hard for me to like visualize was the actual plan. I'm like, are they just going to take the whole thing up? Like what? So then like seeing the thing like go through all the way till like the mountain blasting scene, which again visually fucking cool. Seeing the train like on its side, like I could very easily see Disney doing a fucking ride like that at fucking
Yes,
Disney
and
World
I'm
in the
surprised
future.
they-
Oh god, that would be awesome.
1,000. Can you imagine the monorail pulling that shit?
Oh god, dude, I'd be on that all the fucking time.
Kids throwing up and fucking going all over the place. That'd be
No.
fucking hilarious.
Now, was
Well, you know, they could even sit there and do it as a visual ride like Avatar.
You know why? I'm just gonna tell you right now. That's why they did that scene.
Let's just say they need a big action set piece in the first like 25 minutes of
Yeah.
the movie, or else people that can't spend 10 seconds alone lose their mind.
Well, and people who can't identify the Easter eggs are like, because like you had an Easter egg in there with Han getting the DL-44 blaster.
No.
Yeah,
you said Easter
like
egg.
the Easter eggs are like spread throughout this movie.
Yeah, but
like
if you
movie
don't know
watching.
it, you're not gonna.
Easter egg. What Easter egg is in there?
His
The
gun.
blaster that Han gets.
He gets his gun.
Oh my God! He gets his gun. That's not
And then
an
the Easter egg where he got his dice.
That's a reveal.
His dangling
That's- I
dice.
wouldn't
You guys
call that
remember
an
his
Easter
dangling
egg.
dice?
I wouldn't call that an Easter egg. I'd call that a reveal.
Do you remember his dangling dice from the first trilogy?
That was a
it's
reveal.
one of
That
those
wasn't
dice.
an Easter egg. But anyway,
That it's the same fucking thing.
it is.
Anyways, what was I gonna say? So, am I reading this right? Where fucking Emilia Clarke feeding information to Elvis Nest?
Yes.
Like, how did they know everything? Right? Was that the case? Was
Yes.
that made clear in this
She was
movie?
dual agent, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought, or otherwise they were just like in the know somehow. Which made
She
no
was
sense.
a secret agent woman.
So what? Okay, this is. I'm gonna harp on this. Fucking. What's his face? Woody Allen. Woody Allen? No.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. I want to see Woody Allen in this movie now in that role.
Now I want to. If you could just, geez, if you could just let me help me with the train here. Just remember, don't
Did
trust
you know
anybody.
that Woody Harrelson may be Matthew McConaughey's brother?
Half brother.
All right.
All right.
Anyway, go ahead.
Deal is coaxial.
So
All right.
Woody Harrelson is like his love interest, his wife or whatever she was, just blows herself up. He's like, nah. And then the rest of the movie, fuck that
Fuck
bitch.
it.
I
He's
thought
on, I
of-
need new pussy.
He's a
Basement
fucking asshole.
Give a shit.
Basement, I thought of you instantly.
He had
I
a
thought he'd be
moment.
like,
He had a
And
moment
then
where
just-
in this movie when she blows herself up, like you just said, and he's just a complete evil bastard the whole rest of the movie.
Well, he's like, no, and then like it's clear that he's ready to die because they're like, hold on, don't let go of the cargo, and then the rest of the movie,
I hate everyone.
It's
The
like
rest of the movie is like,
she never
that pussy's
existed.
done, I need a new one.
Yeah, it's like she never existed.
Yeah.
Which is like, this is the weird like thing with this movie. That's one of the instances, but like Connor said before, like the pacing of this movie is fucking
Weird.
This
all over
was
the
weird.
place.
This was a weird moment in the movie. I do agree,
But anywho, moving on.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, sorry, Tim.
Again, as we've all said, like the way they did it with the train, where it's going, then it goes on the side, it works well
it's gonna be a ride at fucking Disneyland someday. I'm
because
fucking
Disney
telling you.
monetizes everything.
Also, like the forced interaction with like, there's a clear thing that they have to do, so everybody has to work together, and this is where you get the bonding with Chewie and fucking.
It's the
Han
heist
Solo.
scene.
Yeah, and I mean this is essentially a heist movie, but like weird.
Yeah, it's
So-
kind of jumbled in a way.
So
There's like 8 heists, and it's weird.
So Han Solo becomes we all know where he goes. He becomes a smuggler, but these are the kinds of things he
dies.
would do to get fucking money later
Right.
on.
Yep.
This is
Right.
So they're kind of, and I kind of liked that aspect
Yeah,
of what
same.
they did in this
What
movie.
what I would have liked a little bit more, I think, if this, it just needs to be cut down. Just make one giant heist, and that's all I want. If they do like a heist, and then another heist to do another heist,
Son
and
of
then
a
the
bitch,
final
and then-
heist.
Because I will
It's just
say
like-
this happened like an hour into the movie, right?
Something
And I
like
could have
that.
swore they could have ended the movie right there.
They could have. But,
Yeah.
And there's
That was the end of episode 1.
yeah.
yes. No, well, do it like a mini-series. Absolutely.
That's what Connor said. It does make sense. You got okay. Heather said it. Sorry.
Yeah.
It does make
Yeah,
sense.
say Heather said it first, and like I said, and this is the kind of thing where it's like heist done, moving on. This part, moving on. Like there are
It's made like a TV show.
well, that's what I'm saying. That it feels more like they're dry cuts with acts.
It seemed like a made-for-TV show. So
It
like,
should have been a
you know, like the miniseries,
three-episode
the
TV show.
miniseries, the miniseries 2-hour shows that like back when I was growing up, like V. You remember V?
For Vendetta.
No, it was a show
Vagina?
called V. So go look it up. It was a mini series back in like the 1980s where these aliens
Or
invaded invaded the world and were going to take it over. You know, and there were a bunch of
I'm looking
lizard
up
people.
now.
So that I honestly would have ended that episode right there and started the next one.
Yeah,
So Heather and Connor said it should have been Disney Plus. Disney Plus though is almost always 6 or 8 episodes. This actually just need to be 3 1-hour
Yeah, it needed to be
Yeah,
three.
pretty much.
It
Wait,
did.
wait.
They could have done it
Three-
45-minute increments.
3 episodes of a show called.
Solo.
Solo.
I
That
would
would
have
be
liked
weird.
it.
3-part. No, I'm
But
pointing out
they
the
could
fucking-
have done it, and it could have been season 1, and then season 2, where they can do a lot with Solo.
Actually, I would have laughed my ass off if they did that. And each episode is also a season, so that means that each season has a solo episode.
Well, okay, yes, that would be I look. Solo's one of the most beloved characters in Star Wars, so
Yeah.
I think a long running series would be fine.
It makes more sense for the way things are written lately.
Because the way this was written should have been a
It should have been a series.
series.
This
Yeah,
is-
this would have been better as a series, I felt too.
I feel like this movie's action scenes are too long. And
Some of
the
them are.
scenes that are actually like important for the growth of the story are not long enough.
Yes. Alright. Moving on. Beckett leaves memorials for Rio and Val, and he punches Han in the face for ruining the mission. They were
Bitch.
supposed to deliver the coaxium to a criminal named Dryden Voss, otherwise known as Vision,
Yay!
leader of the Crimson Dawn Syndicate. Without the coaxium, Beckett fears Dryden will kill him. Han offers himself and Chewie to help Beckett find another stash of coaxium and reach a new deal with Dryden. Beckett reluctantly agrees to let Han and Chewie come along. The three travel to Dryden's huge, luxurious ship docked nearby. While attending a lavish party, Han spots Kira, who has been working for Dryden for the last couple of years. I don't think she was working for him, but
She's working on it.
She was doing a different kind of work for a while.
Working a certain body
After
part.
the ruthless Dryden
work.
After the ruthless Dryden kills the regional governor in his private room, he steps outside to speak to Beckett and meet Han and Chewie. After discussing what happened with coaxium, Han suggests that they steal unprocessed coaxium from the mines on the planet Kessel. Dryden has Kira join them. The danger is that unprocessed coaxium is highly unstable and must be taken to a refining facility quickly before it explodes. And we'll pause right there.
I got a question for you guys.
Sure.
What do you call an old woman's vagina?
A Kessel.
Dryden.
That's horrible.
It's a Dryden.
That's a good one.
We're going to hell.
He's gonna go hang himself after making that.
What was wrong with his face?
I think
He had a cat.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he was
It's
attacked
like-
by
a cat.
It's
A
like he
rancor.
was born on a George Foreman grill.
It's another little story, because what they could do with this Dryden Voss character is they could actually find out what he was in actual. We know what, and I think they might have done. I don't
Well,
know.
do you know?
if they
Do
did.
you know it hurt his eyes, which means it messed up his vision. I couldn't help myself. I'm
So,
sorry.
so
I do
I
feel
will
like his
say
face
this.
was, like,
I
changing.
will say this one little tidbit. This is where Rebels comes in.
Yes, it does.
Did you guys see like his George Foreman grill, right? Like, was it getting more intense when he got angry?
Yeah,
I thought
color-wise?
he saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was calm, you could barely notice it. It was like very dull scars, and when he got angry, they become very red.
So
And
I'm
then later on,
thinking
his eyes get red too, right? So it's
Yes.
got to be some sort of like ability of his species. If
He
he's not
might.
Something
evil.
like that. Yeah,
It
he's
could
an
be.
alien species of some sort.
could be.
So to piggyback off of what JP said earlier about like what the movie needed to accomplish, first off, smiled ear to ear seeing Paul Bettany in the role, and you could clearly tell he was having fucking fun in
Oh,
this
God,
one. So
yes.
I had no. I am like cool. I had no idea. Sit back and just enjoy his performance. He's one of the characters that I'm like, okay, this I can dig this just for the sheer fun of him not being a fucking
Vision?
android.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second of all, the Kessel run. So it's like, oh, okay, this and now it kind of makes sense of like, okay, this is like fuck Kiran. She's fucking a whore, and she's like at this point, like I can understand like, okay, we're going to establish the Kessel run. That makes sense because it's something that's referenced so many fucking times in the next trilogy. So okay, I can kind of bite the idea of like this is the, you know, not quote unquote the origin of Solo, but a couple of like major pieces of his life that kind of shape who he is. So I kind of got where things were going with this one. So, but I just more enjoyed it for Paul Bettany more than anything else. So, but yeah, on board so far.
Yes, we're missing something very important.
Go
What?
ahead.
When we get to this.
Oh wait! I think I know what it is.
All right, what is it?
War games.
He's wrong.
Damn it!
I fucking the moment in this movie I laughed the most, and it was when they were fucking singing, and it was this brain monster in a jar.
Oh yeah!
That was a
fuck was that
callback
about?
to Return of the Jedi.
You know what's funny too? The woman who was singing with like the fucking like the weird like
She
mouthpiece.
had
I'm
like a
like,
satellite on her head or something.
I could see that happening in 5 years, and fucking Lady
Oh yeah, I
Gaga
can see it
really
happening
fucking
right
good.
now.
Yeah,
With the
then,
brain
like,
in the jar.
New version of Auto Tune.
Did anyone else get a Korag vibe from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
It was so good because I was like watching this and I'm like, I hope the brain in the jar sings. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you did.
No, he had like a little fucking mouth thing. It
Like
was
he had the same mouthpiece she did.
Yeah, no, it was so good. I loved every second of that.
Get the turtles.
Does anybody else? Okay, like this is the one complaint I have with Star Wars, and it's not really something a complaint. It's just this is something I noticed with Star Wars. In a galaxy, and it's supposed to be this big spanning thing. It feels like it's taking place in a small town for how often people run into each other. It's like, so she just happens to be this guy's fucking right-hand bitch. on a planet that they didn't originate on,
That I can
in a
understand.
galaxy far away.
That I can kind of and honestly understand, but I get why they did what they did.
It's
There's
just
a
something
way
I
to tie
noticed
her
about
back
Star Wars.
in without being.
Like, it'd be hard to write a cohesive story if you have to show the vastness of fucking what a galaxy is. But it does make Star Wars feel really small when it's supposed to be big at times. I don't know. Whatever.
I get you.
Observation.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
That's why again, when I compare the expanded universe and the expanded universe, they didn't do that. They did it in this canon just because they wanted to tie that back in.
Yeah.
It was an easy way to do it rather than hire another fucking actress to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also love to see like more of fucking Paul Bettany in this
Oh
movie.
god, yeah. In Star
Yeah.
Wars.
That would have been good.
Fuck yes.
So
Criminally
I will
underused.
say
Instead, we get
this.
more of Emilia Clarke, which her like when she shows up, terrible. Partway through the movie, she's manageable. At the end, terrible.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this about Paul Bettany. We always refer to this when wrestling. This guy can play both the heel and the baby face.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
Yes.
is really good at it. That
He's very amorphous, I want to say.
he could
Yeah, that
be
works.
he could be a nicest guy. He could play the nice guy throughout the movie, and it turns out he's the bad guy. He's so good at it. I think.
What'd you guys think of like the interactions as a whole throughout the movie between Han and Emilia Clarke?
Very wooden.
I was going to say something along those
They
lines.
were going through the motions, and I can completely understand that. The best interaction between them two is at the end.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah.
weren't even looking at each other.
But it's like
Yeah.
his whole driving force to this point
Is
was
her.
to get back to this girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's like, here she is, and it's like, okay, well, what do
Yeah,
we do with this
well-
character now? like, what is his purpose? He loses it as soon as she shows up, I feel.
Alright. Moving right along here. In order to get a ship to travel to Kessel, Kira brings the three to meet the charming smuggler Lando Calrissian, as he is playing a card game of Sabacc against other alien pilots. Is it just me, or does that sound awfully Klingon?
It does, but
Like,
please do not ask me to ever explain the rules of Sabacc.
I don't
don't even
care.
know the rules.
Don't care about the rules. Don't care about the rules. It's cards. It's poker, people.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
go ahead.
I like that comparison.
It's poker.
Yeah, and Han challenges Lando to a game where the winner gets the other ship. Han appears poised to win until Lando cheats using a card hidden in his sleeve, again bringing in that Western feel,
It just
to outmatch him. Still, Lando joins Han and the others on their mission for the potential profits that would follow. They stop to get Lando's droid friend, L337, who is watching a fight between other droids and is upset to see that they are used like gladiatorial slaves. Lando brings them to his ship, the Millennium Falcon, and they take off for the mining planet of Kessel.
So
All right, I love this story.
I'll let Basement say his part, and then I want to go because there's something that really important that I want to say. But go ahead, Basement. I know you were.
all I was gonna say is like it's Western and everything, but feel for some reason.
Yes, I can agree.
accomplished it.
But it is a Western. Somebody in a Western would do that, and I've seen it.
A lot of
It's
these
happened in every
segments in this
spaghetti
movie are
Western that's ever
Western
been
based.
created.
Yeah,
It just
so
never feels like a Western.
I got you. It doesn't because it's too industrial looking. Get it?
No, like there's some weird disconnect, and it's not the way it looks.
The original
It's not the way it's
trilogy
shot.
gave you that futuristic spaghetti Western feel.
This feels like it's edging.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like some of it is because it has to fit a very like basic format
Yeah.
that they
You're almost
decided on,
there.
so
You're
that they
almost
don't
there.
piss anybody off. They can't
Ah.
be too creative with this movie, which
By the
really
way,
kills it.
I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't give a shit if people are like, I loved L3.
I did
don't
too.
give.
Okay, so that's
Oh
right.
my
That's,
god, I fucking hate that character. With
Oh,
a
no,
passion.
I don't.
loved
I
L3.
don't. I loved it.
Oh,
So
hate
if there's
this.
one
So
thing,
hate.
if there's one thing, well, at least she died. Okay.
That was
She
my
did-
favorite part.
And that's
I wrote
fine.
that
And
down
that's
on my
fine.
fucking
I
thing
think the
while watching
character.
this.
I think the character served its purpose. My point is and you'll see it in the next movie that we review. This is the kind of thing they're going with, because if you look at some of the characters that they had, the robot in Ahsoka.
Chopper.
So
No,
real fast.
they're
Real fast.
smart asses, but they're
90%
robots.
of the other droids have no character.
Right. So this is a nice breath of fresh air.
It's a nice,
Yeah.
I liked it.
Oh god, this character.
I love
fucking
just like
hated
the,
it.
the
Oh,
chaos
man.
that
Oh,
part
hey,
of L3. Like they're forcing you to fight your brethren.
So the
L3 was weird, and I didn't like it. And it was also like I think fucking Danny Glover wants to fuck me. Where's the rest of the sex?
okay.
box?
So that is
We need it
confirmed.
worked.
That is confirmed that is what they did.
Yeah,
But-
Hold on. Let me just say this, and I in basement to kind of like bridge the gap here.
I'll listen.
All right, real fast. I will say that I think that I love the L3 character in the confines of just this movie and movie alone. I probably wouldn't like it as much if the L3 character was around long term. I will say that much.
I agree with you. No, what I was all I was gonna say is they've done a really good job with this movie, and in the next one, is trying to build that C-3PO, but we're gonna fucking
a little
kill
more
him off.
sass.
We're gonna kill him off.
A lot of sass.
We're just gonna kill him off because we don't want that to become. You know what I mean? It could get old within itself. Like, why didn't they just keep this character alive then? If they're just gonna fucking keep doing this, these two stories needed it.
Hold on. Sorry, reel the fuck back when we introduced her with her overlooking the robot fight. Ron fucking Howard?
Yes.
And then I looked at him like, oh, he fucking directed this shit.
Well, Clint was his brother was in it.
I didn't put two and two together until after the film. I'm like, oh,
Every
fucking
fucking
Ron
movie,
fucking Howard.
every fucking movie that Ron Howard does, Clint is in. Like, he's following his fucking big brother around like a fucking lost puppy dog. But anyway, go ahead.
Well,
What was
when
he-
I felt like
fucking
L3
director is actually fucking good. I
Well,
would too.
he didn't do a great job of directing this movie, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't mind droids with character, but I did feel like, and I felt this when I first watched this movie, that L3, because of when it was released, was like a feminist insert.
I could. Okay.
See, I felt more
I can-
BLM.
Droid has childbearing hips.
So it is what it is.
That's a great ass line.
That's what Lando loved about her the most.
Holy shit.
And her first words are equal, right?
So
God.
okay. I could see the eye roll for that. I could 1000% see people
That I
making the
can.
argument of they're trying to interject, but you know how we talk about certain movies and shows forcing certain things into their narrative for whatever fucking political whatever you want to call it. This one at least did it, I think, better than others.
That
In terms
that scene right there, that
Entertaining
scene right
neutral.
there was all Kathleen Kennedy.
But for
Oh,
me,
yeah.
if a droid, this is where I feel like they pissed away a great idea.
Put a chick in it, make her a droid, make it lame.
a droid looking for equal rights and getting sentient and stuff like that. That is huge, and that should have been an actual big character. Instead, it's used on a fucking childbearing hip fucking feminist insert. I hate it. That's what she was for sure. I can tell
The
you.
character was funny as fuck. You felt it was a little more forced than it had to be. Right?
I just felt like there was. I mean, I actually did, like a lot of people from what I saw, they were like oh, Lando, and he's the best part of this movie. Not for me, man. I felt like he was a bit like overacting to fit the character of the future.
Well,
Yeah.
that's more on who played him than.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's like I mean the character's fine. I love the character. It's just like I don't know. It's got a different vibe for the movie. And then his insert was only there to get the ship, which spanned too long.
Yeah.
Because it leads into another action set piece that's like boring for me. I don't know. I found that's where it goes. But whatever. The character, I love when she died.
I mean, I liked the character while it was there. I wouldn't so much. Yeah, the comment that the thing made no sense because I did say equal rights. It's a fucking robot, but I can get it.
It's a smart idea if you're gonna run with it. But don't just throw that away.
Mm-hmm.
That's like fucking one of the biggest fears in sci-fi. The AI with sentience that wants equal rights.
Mm-hmm.
Or to take over everything.
Yeah, well, that's the first step is equal rights.
Right.
Well, they had that also with Bicentennial Man, so, but he eventually became human. So.
Bicentennial Man, don't, please God no. Like Robert Williams in that fucking suit.
Eventually became human. I've never seen that fucking movie. But moving on.
Not. It's really not.
I don't.
Want to see a robot that looks like Robin
one of
Williams?
my favorite Robin Williams movies. I will say that right now.
Fuck that.
No,
shit.
it's one of the worst.
And the other thing is they showed the Millennium Falcon pre-Han's, because everyone knows Han did some Falcon.
Well, of course, they did the reveal of the Millennium Falcon.
I love that
but
they showed it.
But they showed it before Han's modified it.
You knew it was coming.
I love that they showed it, but then also immediately pointed to the fact that it was also booted.
Yeah. It's a really good introduction for the ship. I do really like the card game scene because it does a couple things. It shows that Han Solo is very like competent, and he only loses because he cheated, and it also shows that aspect of that character.
Yeah.
It was one of the better scenes in the entire movie. I'd say.
Well, that's in a nutshell. That was the beginning of it.
All right. Moving on, the team arrives on Kessel and heads towards the mines, having to navigate the large, stormy cloud that surrounds the planet. L3 initiates a riot by freeing captive droids, which allows others to find the coaxium and take it. At the same time, Chewie spots imprisoned Wookiees, and Han allows him to go and free them. An all-out battle begins as the team tries to escape, only to be shot at by the creatures. L3 is blasted and Lando runs in to save her, losing her lower half as he is wounded trying to take her back to the Falcon.
Shut basement.
The team gets the coaxium on board and they fly away where L3 dies in Lando's arms.
Shut basement.
As the team flies out, they are found by an Imperial Star Destroyer blockade that sends out TIE fighters to attack. With Lando injured, Han must pilot the Falcon to evade the TIE fighters and make it through the Maw, a cluster of black holes. They are attacked by an enormous space monster that tries to devour them. Han must then do a Kessel run, but Lando points out nobody can do it in less than 20 parsecs. Using a piece of L3's machinery to navigate the ship, they find themselves sucked towards a black hole, which the space monster falls victim to as it is ripped apart, which that's actually been proven wrong. If you go through a black hole, you go through a thing called spaghettification, but...
Yep.
Han then has Beckett use a small dose of coaxium to boost the Falcon out of danger. It works and they fly out, and Han is able to brag that he made the Kessel run in 12 parsecs.
I like that scene.
12.5. But if you round down to 12 parsecs.
Only if you round down.
So, I will say this.
Say it.
I liked the entrance into this scene, but as it went on, where they had to go bye-bye, and that when Chewbacca... And then Chewie must have needed to get a handy or something, but he left them people like he loved them, like he knew them. I don't know.
No, I think it was
my people, man.
It was his wife, but anyway.
Was it? I thought it was just random Wookiees, but he's got like my kinship.
Yeah.
No, it was his wife, but a Wookiee life that trumps that.
So wait. It was his wife.
Was it?
Yeah.
So then, okay.
Because he knew he had to help Han because of the life debt.
That to me is so. If it's gonna be his wife, fucking establish something. Like you could have
I
done
didn't
so
know.
much
See,
more
I
with
didn't
it.
catch that part.
Yeah, neither
No,
did
I thought it was just random fucking Wookiees. I
or like
swear it
someone
was
from his
random Wookiees.
tribe.
Yeah, well, like I mean, it's my people. I need to help them out because they're being.
Well,
They
they
did
mentioned when he was
explain
in-
why
when he
he
was-
had to go.
Hold on.
When he was in the pit, he mentioned that his family was taken and enslaved from Kashyyyk.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't establish. Okay. Well, I wouldn't have established it. I didn't think they
feel like
established
it's
that
such
it
a
was
missed
there.
opportunity. If that's what they're gonna do, like it's
Again,
fine.
one line
whatever.
of dialogue.
Yeah, one line of dialogue. It's fine, whatever. I just thought he saw his people being oppressed and he was like, "Fuck this shit. I gotta help them."
Which makes sense.
I don't even really know you, and I'm not really part of this fucking mission.
I really don't have much to complain about this other than the fact that I wish I was high during the fucking Kessel run because Jesus Christ,
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
the visual on that was
No,
fucking
what-
beautiful.
I do have a complaint about the Kessel
He
run.
should not have fucking made it, right?
No, he
Is that what it
shouldn't,
is?
but-
No, it's like
Go ahead.
the way they established it to me was like a race, or like a
Essentially, it is
dangerous
because they're
fucking.
racing against the time to get the coaxium
Yeah,
to a
it's basically
refinery.
what it is.
No,
with the
but like
race
the,
out.
the
Oh my God.
Kessel run as a thing.
Yes.
Oh no. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Or
I
it's
think
like,
so,
oh,
I
I did it
is-
this much. Who's the fuck's doing that ever?
Kessel Run is basically
Halfway.
the run at the start to Kessel, then from Kessel
to the
to your
refinery
destination.
station.
Yeah, but like, the way
And-
that it was explained in the original, or the way that I perceived it, let's just say that, was that it was like something. It's almost like an obstacle course where people have done
Yeah.
it in a certain amount of time, but he did it better.
Essentially,
And then
it is
when they
'cause
show-
you have to pass through a maelstrom and the maw.
Well, part of the
Yes.
reason why is because of the effects that black holes have on time.
We
Yeah,
understand
we're,
all of that.
we're
That-
not going to get into that because the movie's too dumb for that. Let's be real.
So it's a good
But,
thing.
like-
It's a good thing they didn't do that because that's stupid.
Well,
So
this is where
It's-
it gets tricky with like trying to fit into. Well, we have to explain what this is and that's mentioned and like backtrack it. That's where like shit like that. And this is not their fault per se, but it's like
so
this is where like they're almost pigeonholed before they even start the movie.
long
You know what I mean?
story short, this became called. Han was the first one to do it.
In 12.5 parsecs.
Yes.
Yeah. Which
Which
means
I-
everybody's doing it all the time.
Which, by the way, I do love the fact that like it's technically not true because like I mean, or rather, it's technically true, but they fail to mention the fucking coaxium assistance.
Yeah.
I do like that little
Well,
like
it's
kind of
also like,
well, there's an
he
asterisk
didn't
with it.
necessarily do it alone.
Right,
yet he took all
yeah.
the credit for it.
Yeah.
Also, like a parsec is
A power
nothing.
measurement of how much power to use in a spaceship.
A parsec is
Distance.
distance,
Oh, it's distance,
not
okay.
time.
Yeah,
So it
parsecs
doesn't really
is
make any
distance.
sense in and of itself.
That's
Whatever.
That's the galaxy. That's what they call it.
I think it was just it was written by someone that didn't understand.
Well, it's
And they
like, it's
just
like
stuck with
saying instead of saying miles or kilometers, they're gonna say parsecs.
Yeah, that's basically what
yeah,
they do.
but if I drove 60 miles, It's not miles per hour. It's not speed. It's distance.
It is.
So it doesn't make any sense. So the actual like I made it in this many parsecs is like I went 120 kilometers.
So
That's the end of the sentence.
So, well, there's only one refinery that they can get to in a short amount
In
of
that time that they had for the unrefined.
So
coaxium.
everybody would never go the way fucking Han Solo did. Is the point?
Through the maw.
Because it was too dangerous.
It always
Yeah.
just seemed like the way that they presented it was like I ran the 400 kilometer, whatever. I ran 12 miles in 10 seconds. Is the way I always thought like the idea of I did this in this amount of time was presented.
A parsec is actually a unit of length.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
so,
what I was saying.
So it is used to measure large distance to astronomical objects. So it's an actual thing. So a parsec is not
Made up for the movie.
made up.
No, I'm not saying it's made up. I'm saying what it is. You wouldn't say I ran a mile and I did it and I ran a mile. It would have been I ran a mile in 10 seconds, or I ran a mile in 50 seconds, or whatever.
So I just want to clarify. So, astronomical objects outside the solar system approximately equal to 3.26 light years. So 3.26 light years is a parsec.
You would be comparing speed, not distance.
So
when you
they do.
talk
You
about
can do
how
that.
how good you are at something.
But that
So it would be-
is actual math that you'd have to do.
He's not right. I don't think Baseman's
No, and I
complaining
get
that. Yeah, it's like saying like I ran 10 seconds in a mile.
Yes.
That's not how you would describe it. It would be I ran no, fucking 10 seconds.
No,
in a mile.
it's either you're comparing speed at what you do, or how far you go. And parsecs is how far you go, not how the speed at what you do it.
Right, but what I'm saying is that the way it's described as I ran the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Yeah, it's described as like a speed thing in my mind.
Well, the
Right.
speed of light. So imagine the speed of light.
Yeah, but that's not what it is. But that's what I mean.
That's what
Like
the-
they're
that's what the
comparing.
parsec
light year,
is.
that's what a light year
Yeah.
is.
I get it, but it's a measure of distance, not speed.
Well, it's because light travels distance.
They do that.
Ah!
Anyway, the team is set to meet with Dryden.
Yeah. The team is set to meet
Dryden.
Dryden on the planet Savarine, where they plan to process the coaxium at a discussed refinery. The group are soon found by the Cloud Riders. Han tries to bluff them, saying he has a small unit of soldiers waiting aboard the Falcon. The ruse fails when Lando flies off into the Falcon.
I died.
They fucking genius. Beckett believes the riders are a bunch of marauders until their leader, a teenage girl named Enfys Nest, reveals herself and says they only want to keep the coaxium out of Crimson Dawn's hands. A resistance is building in opposition to the Galactic Empire, and Nest wants the coaxium to use in the fight.
Wanted to beat my head against the wall when I saw her face.
Yes. Because I didn't actually put two and two together until you fucking said it, because it's been so long since I've watched Captain and Winter Soldier.
That's
Fucking
why
roll.
that's why she got that role.
Same fucking
It's
roll.
You know it is. It's like, oh my god, remember Enfys Nest?
Well, this.
Oh.
Well, that was made after.
That's what he's
Yeah.
saying. That she got the role in Captain Winter Soldier.
God, I'm gonna
because
kill
of her
myself.
role and stuff.
Hey, remember that thing you did? Do it again.
Remember parsecs?
Oh my god.
Stab
There,
myself in
it's
the heart.
actually it's like 202,000 miles per second. So there's your speed, motherfucker.
How fast I
Yeah.
want to change this when I saw
Now-
her on the
Not
fucking
how you,
screen.
okay, you know what? Never mind.
Now,
Never
this
mind.
this scene does have certain callbacks to the expanded universe where Han has to decide between, am I gonna help the rebellion or am I gonna help
Am I
myself?
going to help start the rebellion?
Yeah, help start the rebellion or help myself.
Well, I mean, the choice is
is-
pretty fucking obvious. He doesn't know this fucking Enfys Nest. Last time he was around her, she tried to kill him.
And,
Fair enough, yeah.
It's gonna happen. Jabba the Hutt's gonna be played by fucking Wyatt Russell.
Oh, if I wish they,
You know
I
it
wish
is.
the Hutt had more of a play in this movie. Don't get me going on that.
I felt like Enfys Nest was a cool looking character, cool name. Then you get the reveal, and it's like, oh,
It is
Why?
what it is.
I'm a 16-year-old fighter.
Well, what got me is she sat there and said that the Crimson Dawn started as a small-time thug unit that cut the tongues out of all the women, men, and children. But yet her mother told her this story.
Maybe she knows sign language.
Maybe she wrote it all down for her.
Maybe she signs in British.
Fucking. Mom, tell us a story.
Her words cut deep, they did.
No, it
The
goes with that
truth is
TikTok you
actually-
sent. It goes
truth
with
is
that
actually they
TikTok
take
you
care of-
sent me, Connor. Helen Keller on gummies.
So
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is where
She actually-
this is where I didn't give a shit. Okay, the Kessel Run is over. This is where I'm like,
This is where
okay,
you didn't give a shit.
I
Okay.
didn't care. Kessel
Yeah,
Run
no,
was
no.
over. And then they had to build something. So what the fuck are they doing now? That's where
Like,
I
who
was
cares?
at this
Who
point.
cares about these people? Because I sure as hell didn't
Well,
give a shit.
I mean, I
Their
think
tongues
it's-
were cut out.
I honestly
Yep.
think it's the beginning of the Rebel Alliance.
Yes,
I think so too. But
I'm
like,
of the same mindset as well.
I mean, that's what they were hinting at. It's just the characters are so who gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, Emphas Nest is cool," and then it's a 16-year-old girl, and
Oh, I
No.
get it. I get that. I'm just telling you where they're probably going with it. Which is whatever.
I remember when it came to storytelling, my mom once said,
she's actually remembered the whole story. Like she understood the whole story wrong. They actually helped them.
Yeah.
It's like- I remember your soft words, mother. Yeah.
Alright.
That was a pretty good. It was a pretty good. I like the build to this,
Yeah.
but I did
But
not.
you're
I
right.
didn't. I didn't. So I like the build to what they were going to do next, but this whole in between, just I didn't care.
Yeah, the movie really fell off a bit for me after this scene
Well, they did.
Yeah, for sure.
because there wasn't much substance after it,
Oh,
really.
sure there was.
Well, the thing is, like, no, I do like. Okay, so unless you know what's coming, this movie kind of like keeps handicapping itself by getting rid of some of the biggest
So at
themes in
this
it.
point,
That are like the driving force for why you're watching it.
at this point, I didn't know what was coming though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, but like for what they've built up, right? They chop off their legs when they fucking reveal that he doesn't have to get a ship to do all this to get her because she's there, and then they kind of chop off their legs again with this reveal. Like they keep like, here's the stakes, we're getting rid of them. Here's the new stakes, we're getting rid of them. Here's the new stakes. This is why a TV show would have been better than the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
but part of it also was Harrison
Kira
Ford
and-
won another Indiana Jones,
Hold on,
and
Nathan.
I don't know.
What?
Well, you did.
No. Wait, I was gonna say something too, but you said something about Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Harrison Ford won another Indiana Jones, and oh no, that's on something else. Never mind. Ignore me on that one.
No. Oh fuck! What the fuck was it?
I now remember what it was. Yeah.
So to the Western thing, right?
Mhm.
When you have Han come out and it shows clear shot behind his revolver, and the people in front of him, he walks out with his legs split like he shit his pants, and then it all fails, and I think that killed me. Not that he drove away, the spaceship goes away. He slowly walks back with his fucking legs split like he shit his pants. I honestly feel okay. So looking into this movie, like someone else was directing it for a certain amount of time, and then Ron Howard took over because Disney's like, "You're not doing it right. Put more chicks, make them gay." No, so I honestly feel like the original directors wanted more the Western feel, and Ron Howard was like, "No." That's why it's like there, but
Not
it's
really,
not.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm done.
Yeah. Han, Kira, and Chewie bring the coaxium to Dryden, whose ship lands nearby. When he sees the sample, he says that it is fake. Well, it turns out Beckett was his inside man, and he told Dryden that Han had been planning to sell the coaxium to the Cloud Riders. However, Han reveals he took a page out of Beckett's book and anticipated that Beckett would betray them. The coaxium in the room is real, and the Cloud Riders have nothing. Beckett takes Chewie hostage, along with the coaxium. Dryden fights Han and Kira, ending with Kira overpowering Dryden and stabbing him through the heart with his own blade. Kira tells Han to go after the coaxium and to save Chewie, and she will join them soon. This fight scene
was brought to you by...
No. Honestly, Kate Beckett did better in Underworld than Emilia Clarke did here.
Kate. No,
Beckinsale.
Kate
Beckinsale.
Beckinsale.
I'll never forget her name. For other reasons.
Yeah, but Kate Beckinsale did better in Underworld with her fight scenes than Emilia Clarke did here.
Emilia Clarke's just terrible. She's terrible. I'm sorry. It's just everything she's done outside of Game of Thrones is terrible.
Well, it's like I said, I was full on expecting that Daenerys' face up any moment.
Oh, yeah.
Any moment in this fucking movie.
I just never understood. Like, her face betrayed her. Because what her facial acting had nothing. I don't know what the fuck I was looking at half the time. It was like, but I don't know. She was like randomly rolling the dice. And it's like, this is how you should look. 1 through 6. Pick an emotion.
Well, I'm also wondering if this wasn't also around the same time that she was going through those issues with the brain aneurysms.
Yeah, that
might have been, yeah.
Terrible acting. Brain aneurysms. That's the only acceptable thing I'll
She
take.
did have 2 of them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's entirely possible.
I just think she's terrible. She's not a great actress. That's the bottom line.
But she's better with the medieval stuff. The medieval fantasy.
Yeah, I feel like she... Still, like, rewatching Game of Thrones, I'm like, yeah, at times. But whatever. Let's see, this whole fucking scene... I don't know, man. This is where this movie fucking drops a gigantic shit pile on my chest.
Yeah.
Because, like, hey, guess what? I'm double crossing you. Guess
I'm
what?
triple crossing.
I'm double crossing you. And then
I am triple
guess what?
crossing your ass on that.
I'm double crossing myself. Like, what is going on here? Like, so he brought the real explosive into the room and, like, showed no worry when this guy picks it up. I'm like, I hope he throws it on the floor and everyone explodes.
No, I do love how Paul Bettany just pulled that scene off. It was just like, God, this looks so real. How did you do it? It's just like, oh, he knows.
The thing is, the acting is fine. His point of view, sorry. The acting is fine. Everything's good. It's just it's Rick and Morty fucking double cross.
Yeah.
Like,
Double,
it's
triple,
so
quadruple
bad in that respect where it's like, surprise. I'm like, I'm kind of tired of surprises now.
It does show some character development for Han where he's stopped just having blind faith in Beckett, and he's like, well, Beckett's probably going to double cross me, so all right, let's screw with him then, and I'll bring this real stuff in with me.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they just bomb him?
I liked what happened.
The fight scene was very...
I liked it.
It was all right. It wasn't... We've seen better fight scenes in Star Wars.
I have. But you got to remember, these aren't Jedi and fucking Sith.
True enough, yes.
See, the biggest problem with this,
of.
and it's the biggest problem that happens with Disney as a whole, is this is supposed to be Han Solo's story, yet
everybody else is more involved than Han.
Yeah. There's this. He plays part of the main characters. He has to share screen time and share the fucking movie with Emilia Clarke, which is what really hurts it, because you want to see him be like the main character, and it's like, well, guess what?
You're not.
Remember him as a side character? Well, you came to the right place, because he's gonna still be a side character, even though he's somewhat main. He's a main character, but he's sharing so much of the screen time. This is where there's no overarching big bad, and if it's Paul Bettany, then arguably Emilia Clarke has a better storyline with him than fucking Han Solo.
Yeah, it does suffer from the lack of a true central main antagonist, this movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's behind the scenes. This would work if it was a trilogy, and they were like, because they kind of treat Darth Maul like they treat fucking Darth Sidious.
Yeah.
We're behind the
A
scenes.
manipulator.
Yeah, but he's shown in 10 seconds of the movie.
Yeah.
And then there was no sequel.
So
Yeah.
this is right about the time that this is right about the time of Rebels, because Darth Maul is looking for Obi-Wan Kenobi at this time.
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So he's building this, and I think there was a reveal in Rebels that it was Crimson Dawn. He was behind the whole fucking thing.
Right.
But and they did that in Rebels. But the thing is, yes, again, you would have had to watch Rebels to understand that, and I get it.
That's
I get it.
a huge problem.
I get it. But that is why they did what they did with this reveal.
Yeah, I get it.
They were showing you.
Sorry,
Okay, I'm sorry, Heather. I can't help it. They're showing you where the timeline actually is.
Right. What I was just gonna say was like and again, Marvel is much
While
worse at this.
extending the story.
They can still potentially have a payoff for this, but having only I mean in just the movies. So far, I've only seen the movies. I've not seen the series, so I know big asterisk with that. But as far as the movies themselves go, right now there's not a payoff for the Maul reveal. Not yet. There's still a chance they could either integrate whatever they did with Rebels, or I know what happens eventually with Obi-Wan and fucking Maul. I've seen the clip.
Well,
but,
he has nothing. Okay. Again, this comes back to... So this is where I'm going with it. There's going to be another movie because there is a book written. And Darth Maul is chasing after Han Solo. He's trying to... Because he is the one that they talk about.
Like the story you should have told.
So what it was is Darth Maul became a bounty hunter type dude.
Agreed.
I feel like Disney got too full of their own shit, and it's like, we can make this product and automatically we know we're making another one, so this one doesn't have to be where we want it to be.
And for the record,
a story.
And for the record, Marvel is a much grosser offender of this than Star Wars is.
I actually don't think so. I don't think so. I think Marvel in the last couple of years, yes, but before that, no.
Yeah.
I do feel like if you're gonna make a cinematic universe, which is what Star Wars is, it has to work on every level. And when you start having to tell people to what, this is the AEW issue, so I don't care what you say, JP. When you start telling people to go on YouTube to understand what's on primetime TV, it's a big fucking problem.
Yeah, and like I said, there's payoffs in Rebels. I understand that, but I'm saying again, I've only seen the movies. I've not seen the shows. So I said, as of right now, there could be some other way they integrate it into like a Disney Plus show or whatever the fuck. Right
the big
now,
difference is like with the movies, the prequels, everybody loved Darth Maul, right?
Yep.
And then he disappeared he disappeared forever. This is huge for people that just watch like the cinematic universe. When it was released.
Kenobi!
Because you're looking at how many years later, and it's like, oh my god, he's still alive? What the fuck? That's a big pop for people that don't know.
With his weird robo duck feet.
Yeah. I honestly felt like if my midsection was cut off, give me all the fucking legs in the world.
Yeah.
Like, why am I settling for 2? I can make myself look like anything. Make me a dinosaur.
Just for the record right now, I was curious because I was curious about the rumors about if they were going to make another Solo movie, and apparently as it stands right now, there are no plans to make another Han Solo movie right now. Things could fucking change. So
the problem is I honestly probably reboot it before they make a sequel.
Personally, I'd rather just a Darth Maul movie.
Yeah.
Totally honest with you.
You can include this is what Disney's missing. Show us fucking villain storylines. Then when the villain and the but when the villain and the fucking hero come face to face, it's like WrestleMania.
Yes.
Or Survivor Series. Best clothesline in the business.
You shut up.
Best clothesline.
Just for that last night.
Terrible clothesline.
The right person. Sorry, go ahead.
I am going to breeze through the last 3 paragraphs here because it all just culminates the movie.
Sounds good.
Alright, so Han catches up to Beckett. Beckett attempts to talk his way out of the situation and draws his gun, but Han shoots first and kills Beckett. Meanwhile, Kira contacts her true boss, a shadowy figure who reveals himself to be Darth Maul. She tells him of the mission's failure and he assigns her to Dryden's former position. She leaves on Dryden's ship, passing over Han and Chewie. She looks over to him and he looks back. Han gives the coaxium to Enfys and her team. She offers him a chance to join them, but he declines. Enfys leaves Han and Chewie with a vial of coaxium for themselves. Han finds Lando and challenges him to another game of sabacc, only this time he manages to swipe Lando's cheat card from him before the match. Han wins fairly and he gets the Falcon. Along with Chewie, they decide to head to Tatooine after Beckett had mentioned a gangster, Jabba the Hutt, putting together a crew for another mission. Han then puts the Falcon into hyperspace as they take off. And that is the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like this ending.
God, they did not show us Tatooine.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
We've seen enough shit.
You knew they were like, oh man, should we show like young?
Oh wow,
Leia?
stand!
Should we show young Luke and Leia? Should we? Should we? You know they had to like. You know the self-restraint was huge with that one with Disney.
Well, it also them just mentioning Jabba the Hutt and Tatooine just ties into
Yeah, exactly.
where
That's all you
we
need.
first
Just...
see him in episode 3. Or episode 4, sorry.
Episode 4.
Yeah,
I would have liked. I'll come back to that later.
I actually like the poker scene.
Oh my god, Tim. You're killing me. Go ahead.
There was a callback. There was that Easter, whatever you want to call it. Han shot first for the first time, basically.
Yeah,
Like-
I did kind of catch that too.
Yeah, which was like that. Betty telling him that's the smartest thing you've done this entire time is shoot first, and I would have shot you.
Right.
Which lends itself to Han's character of shoot them before they shoot you.
Shoot now, ask questions
Could have
later.
been a Western.
Exactly.
God damn it! It ends in a fucking standoff, and he shoots him first.
Yep.
Sorry. This is like, you know it's there, it's just never got there. God damn it. Did you guys love when they were looking at each other from 1,000 miles away?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
he had fucking X-ray vision and super scope to see his face.
Yeah, I like I said, that was probably the best interaction them two had, and they weren't even really looking at each other.
We're in the same fucking vicinity.
And I will
I-
say...
We are currently on the same planet.
I absolutely hated her character.
I will say, seeing Darth Maul got a huge pop in the theater.
In the theater.
Yeah.
Of
course it
Yeah, I think it would get, like, for me, I popped for it, but I was like, I also don't give a shit about the character he's talking to. Like, it's just,
And I
like, her
understand that.
character is a black hole.
I
She is the Kessel Run.
I completely and totally understand that, which is why I think that they should finish the story. Because there is the book that Solo is chasing after... Or, excuse me, Maul is chasing after Solo. So, and then she ends up just to get back to him, and then she ends up fucking dying.
I want her killed by Kylo Ren.
Nope, it'll be Darth Maul kills her. It'll be Darth Maul.
No,
kills her.
I'd rather it be Kylo Ren. I think that'd be fucking funnier.
Darth Maul. Because you got to remember, they got to end this and then go. And then it's like 20 years later they go into. Fucking,
Yeah.
I know.
I
I'm just saying
do
is that my
feel
own
like-
sick, twisted mind. I would love her to fucking get killed by like the son of her former lover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she stayed near a black hole too long. Time changed.
That's well.
Yeah,
Or she stayed too long towards a black guy.
That'll drive me nuts for me.
So, but
I don't know. It was,
Go ahead.
the ending was the.
And that scene with Lando at the end.
I liked it. I liked the poker scene. I thought it was
Well,
fun.
that's-
Oh, I
cute.
loved it. I loved it too.
That's-
And it's another one of those callbacks to
Yeah.
how
that's just-
Han got the Falcon.
It just finishes the story with the Millennium Falcon and how Han Solo acquired it. That's
Yeah,
all
But
it
it's also
did.
like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's also the end scene kind of like now you're seeing the character that will be the character because he basically gets one up on a cheater by fucking persuading him and being knowledgeable.
By
I don't know.
stealing his heart.
It was the most Han Solo. This is why like I can't like you can shit on the fucking guy, the actor or whatever, but like, by the end I kind of felt a lot more Han Solo than I did at the beginning, which is what they're supposed to kind of do in the story.
Agreed.
And he has that lopsided grin down pretty well too.
I don't know. His face made me angry at times.
Yeah. But that's a characteristic of Han Solo, the lopsided grin.
Yeah, well, it's...
Well, that was more of a Harrison Ford thing because of...
I just don't think he did a great job.
Harrison Ford created it and that became a characteristic of Han Solo.
No, it's a characteristic.
I don't think
it's a characteristic of
Harrison Ford. Yeah,
yes,
just part of the character.
Synonymous with Han Solo, then is what I'm saying.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, if you're trying to get another character, when it comes to Harrison Ford, and when it comes to Indiana Jones, and when it comes to Han Solo, you have to be Harrison Ford to play those roles.
Yeah.
That's
so there is really only one Star Wars character that they could replace, and I would be okay with it, and that is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because the Obi-Wan Kenobi, Alec Guinness, the original...
No, he's good.
I think you could switch out Ewan McGregor with him, and you would have been okay.
Yeah,
100%. I don't think you could do the opposite, though. Because I feel like the character... There's a big difference between Han Solo and fucking old Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
One is like he's iconic, but it's like he's stoic, and you can expand on that. There's so much character in the Han Solo character that you can't. It's like replacing Sean Connery or George Clooney in a role.
I do not
and expecting him to have the exact same thing.
I do not disagree. I was just pointing out that there is only one character that they could have done that with, and that was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Imagine trying to replace Sidious. Impossible.
If you replace Luke Skywalker with
Luke Skywalker, I think you could actually.
I don't think you
no,
could no. I don't think you could.
You can't replace Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker.
Mark Hamill's pretty
Sebastian Stan
wooden. No? He's pretty wooden for a lot of those. Like, I feel like Mark Hamill learned to act after he was done with Star Wars.
Well,
he learned to act because of Star Wars.
We'll get to that actually in Return of the Jedi. There's a reason behind that too.
I get his character is supposed to be like the vehicle for the audience, right? So he has to be generic good guy, and that's kind of what he acts, and it's fine. It works. It's just like there's the nuance of Han Solo is not there for Luke Skywalker.
I got you. I totally agree with you.
I
was just pointing that out, and
you're right. I mean, there's a couple characters that are replaceable. There's the ones that are not. This is why this movie was always going to be an uphill battle because
agreed. I didn't hate it. I actually liked it a little more the second time I seen it. To be honest with you.
Let's get into the final thoughts and ratings here.
Yeah, I like I said, I actually liked it a little bit more than I did the first time. It's only the second time I've seen it. I'm not really too much into Solo, to be honest with you. I like him as a character. I like him as a character, but he isn't really my favorite character in the Star Wars lore. Darth Vader is. But
he's very much the everyman.
Yeah.
No, and I get that.
I
don't hate his character.
No. I mean, I feel like this is why he's not going to be many people's favorites. Because he's like the most generic, like swashbuckler of the crew. Everybody else has like something a bit more special to him. He's the charisma guy.
But I wouldn't go as far as movie goes. Some of the CGI scenes are okay. They're better than most that I've seen.
They're leagues ahead of Marvel.
It doesn't make me constantly think that looks weird.
Yes.
Well, he can get away with it more.
Well,
the acting, I agree mostly with everything you're saying. Again, the accent thing, I don't care. I'm so used to hearing English-speaking people, English accents on Star Wars. I don't care. But
what if one of the Wookiees just spoke English?
We got to hit the
I get it.
I
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I just don't care.
Hey, man.
But
it's cool running. The Kessel Run. Sanka, you dead?
but that I wouldn't go any higher than the 6-ish range.
I see that.
I do like the reveal with Darth Maul because that's where I think they're actually going to either do a series of Solo and Darth Maul. Darth Maul ultimately does not catch him, but I think they could tell that story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could tell that story.
But it ends up she takes his
Anyway.
So yeah, six-ish for me. That's about as high as I can go as far as movie. Story probably up there at 7 because they're hitting it right on the head. They're hitting it on the head with the story that they told. They went step by step, which made it look bad for the acting part. I'm telling you my thoughts. I don't know why you want me to wrap it up, but I'm just saying. I have a lot to fucking say. That's all. I mean, what do you want me to do? Not talk anymore?
Not all.
Jesus fuck. Just saying. I mean, right? I'm speaking from the heart. I think the story is right, but the acting made it bad. That's all I'm saying. I'll shut up now. Go ahead.
I've got a lot to fucking say. That's all.
5 minutes later.
All right.
Tim?
For me, I can give it a 6 point. Whoa. I'd give it a 6.2.
6. Whoa.
No, I was fine. I'd give it a 6.5, but I really can't go any higher than that. The main character castings didn't do it for me. It was the side character castings, the Woody Harrelson, the Paul Bettany. Those they knocked out of the park with. But the 2 leading roles, they just didn't mesh well, really. I
think you could have fucked one of them up, but not both of them up.
Yeah.
I love the little callbacks of how Han got the Falcon, how Han and Chewie met. They did those scenes scenes in their history justice. I just wish they had a little more interaction with characters, with some of the more established characters who we know are in the Star Wars canon already, of the Hutts. At least have them make an appearance somewhere. You could have at least made them make an appearance. But yeah, that's all I got.
Alright, basement?
Oh.
Well said. Moving on.
I feel like this movie is like larger scale. It's too large a scale. There's no need. It would have been better service. Like, yeah, when people talk about Daredevil, street level, that should have been street level. It gets to the point where it's like there's not world stakes, but it's like the stakes get too high for me. And you got the acting. I don't really. Emilia Clarke's bad, but I think that's a combination of her and the writing for her character, and the fact that they're like, we want you to be like an undercover spy, but we want you to be seductive. And then when you look at her face, she's like, I don't know what emotion I am. And that fucked me up.
Gonna be fucking the droid there, man. The thing's all bombas and why.
And also her Jamaican accent. I didn't
It's
think the
on the
main guy did a very bad job. Just like, no matter what, you're fucked. You're not going to be Harrison Ford, so whatever. It was very like it's just very safe acting for him, and that's fine. I think Disney was like, do this the way it is, please God. The movie was okay. I might get crucified for this, but this movie did not need to be made.
What movies do?
Don't think it should have been a movie.
No,
It
I know,
needed
but
to
if
be
you're going to tell a
made, but it
story,
shouldn't have been a movie.
This, I mean, you run the risk by making this movie. You run the risk for hurting the character.
Yeah.
More than you run the risk for making a successful movie.
I think that would have been better off if it was done live action.
Well, it was done live action.
No, I mean like the Rebels, because they have a guy.
Animated?
They have a guy that can do Han Solo's.
I would actually think it would be a lot more acceptable if it was done within the realms of like Rebels and stuff like that, where it was just a Disney Plus add-on animated thing. Because though people they're part of the canon, people are a lot more like lenient with them than they are with a major movie release. This is like I've said it before. This is a very risky thing for them to do because 5% of the time you're gonna win. Other than that, people are gonna fucking hate it. And they're going to ask, why was it made? And I agree to in all honesty, a little mystery and a little backstory not being fleshed out, it doesn't need to happen. It really doesn't. The character's already dead. Same thing with Black Widow. It didn't need to happen. That being said, it wasn't a bad movie. I enjoyed most of it. It has some huge pacing issues. The acting is pretty good overall, if I had to weigh everybody out. Visually, I thought it was pretty good. The score for a Star Wars movie was not good.
No.
It's not memorable in any way. I'm like thinking, while I was watching this, I'm like, man, the music really doesn't like, outside of the Star Wars theme that plays every now and then, nothing about it was like, I didn't give a shit. It didn't make me feel anything, didn't make me get invested in anything. A lot of like long drawn out action scenes where they're like obviously catering to a generation that has no fucking ability to sit down and watch something.
Yeah.
But I think I'd still give it like a 6.5.
Okay.
There's too many good things about the movie for me to like hate on it. As a Star Wars movie, it's probably a 5.56. But as a movie overall, yeah, 6.5.
Okay. Connor.
Gonna give this one a 6.5 there, man. It's one of the best movies out there, man. To be clapping all day, fucking bombing away. No, honestly, I was thinking 6.5 as well. Kind of in the same litany of reasons everybody else has already listed. The best line I can think of is this movie almost feels hollow. It's a weird sentence to say, I know, but that's the best way I can describe it in like one sentence. There is substance there, and there's things that they do that I think pretty well in terms of sticking with or knowing that we're connecting the dots going into the future and the original trilogy with Han's character. But again, this is not their fault. Right from the get-go, it's an uphill fucking battle. So no matter what they do and how they persuade and how they put the pieces together, even if they're taking from the book series or wherever, it's a struggle right from the get-go because you're trying to not rewrite history, but you're trying to put like actual, these like things you hear about and put them as like actual tangible story, which can go either way. Sometimes it can be great, sometimes it can't be. And this isn't just a Star Wars thing. But any case, acting was kind of so-so. I do agree with Tim and everybody else. The secondary characters is what really got me. I didn't hate Han. I didn't hate his actor. I didn't hate his acting per se, but kind of middle of the road for me. It's really fucking Amelia. She should have just jumped off and just fucking fallen off a cliff. I'm good there for the reasons I mentioned before. But other than that, I felt like I enjoyed every other scene. Not that I hated it, but not that I hate the scenes in between, but like it's like this was good, a little bit in between. This was pretty good, and next is good. So I don't know, just me. What was your question, Basement? Sorry.
Do you think you would have would have you preferred this movie being just a Star Wars tale, not Han Solo, still featuring most of the same cast, not the Han Solo tale, just as a standalone Star Wars movie, extending the universe in some way, featuring a lot of the same characters, but like not not being Han Solo. I feel it would work better.
Yeah.
So I compare this a lot to Mando in a way because like I haven't seen all of Ahsoka yet. I haven't watched it yet. So, but like, there's so much. I think we talked about this before with other Star Wars stuff. There's so much you can explore and really have just fucking fun with, while still referencing shit that's going on in the background with the Skywalker stuff and blah blah blah. To answer your question, I don't know if I would have the same level of interest if there wasn't some type of character that could have drawn me into directly or indirectly into the bigger picture. Like with Mando, it was kind of interesting how that fucking took off, and then you saw like a character that literally looked like fucking Yoda, so explode memed him all over the fucking place.
Well, I guess like what I'm trying to get at is the fact that I feel like them being beholden to this like Star Wars lore and the main characters and having to
Pigeonhole
always
them.
fucking go back to that. It shackled them to do a certain story that could never be great. This movie could never be great in my mind.
So in my opinion, this is once again beating a dead horse here. This is why I think it would have been better as a series and if they rewrote it in the sense, because honestly, some of the side adventures with Han Solo before he got up with Chewie, got the Millennium Falcon, if you got rid of the fucking romance with fucking what's her face and just did like a couple of heists and stories of him trying to get money or getting these different possessions or meeting Lando, fuck, I'd watch the shit out of 2 seasons of that. Are you kidding me?
I would rather this movie be the same movie, but turn fucking Woody Harrelson's character into fucking Han
The
Solo
middle
and
Han
have
Solo,
turn him into Han Solo and have the actual character be a new character to Star Wars. That would, for me, have worked much better than this. You still feature him, you still get a lot of his poignant scenes, but it's not focused around him, so you can have a lot more creativity with it.
Yeah, I could get behind that for sure.
Because that is basically what Woody Harrelson is. He's a picture into the future of who Han Solo becomes.
Yeah.
But I'm still 6.5. I think the good stuff is still really, really solid, and it kind of not completely overshadows the bad stuff or the stuff I didn't like, but good enough.
All right. So yeah, I'm in the same boat. I mean, with the callbacks, the mention, the Kessel Run itself, the foreshadowing of what's going on with mentioning Jabba the Hutt and Darth Maul being revealed in the movie, it's definitely a solid 6.5 movie for me.
Agreed.
I wish that they had gone with somebody other than Emilia Clarke.
Yep. 100%.
And and it actually gone with the love interest for Han Solo that was actually written in the books and not this Kira chick, but it's neither here nor there. And I agree with Basement. If they had sat there and kind of kept the Han Solo character but made it more about Woody Harrelson's kind of escapades and stuff like that, it would have been better.
Just make Woody Harrelson Han Solo.
The Adventures of Han Solo is basically what you're looking for.
Yeah, as a series, it would have been better.
Yeah.
Star Wars is doing what WWE did and relying on old talent for too long.
Right.
Essentially.
Mm-hmm.
There is one thing that I do think that the one really small detail that everybody picked up on, and it's kind of not really an Easter egg. I wouldn't call it an Easter egg. But who do you think voiced Maul's character?
Oh, it wasn't the original guy? Also, was Maul a person, or was he CGI?
The hologram that you see is Darth Maul. Is Ray Park, the guy that actually played Darth Maul live action.
Yeah. Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer voiced it.
I think they should have just put him in the makeup.
Sam Witwer, excuse me, Witwer.
Yeah, Witwer.
He voices Darth Maul in Rebels and in Clone Wars.
I think he should have actually been in the makeup for this movie.
No,
No, if you see him in person, he don't
look
like that.
anything like
don't
that.
No,
look
he
like
doesn't.
that.
No, he's got like a very strong brow.
JP and fucking Darth Maul outfit.
I think
it's the
he
same.
would be better. I think Ray Park is perfect,
As far as physical, yes.
which is why you'll never see Darth Maul as a live action, because Ray Park can't, unless they find a guy that looks just like him, which there might be some out there, but that can act. Good luck. You all right there, buddy? But that I just wanted to point that out. That was one thing, that little history lesson for you. That's all. Just wanted to point that out. Come here.
All right.
Hey, not a bad movie. Overall, pretty decent when it comes to Star Wars. Most of the Star Wars movies are probably going to land around this realm for me.
It's hard to do a bad Star Wars movie.
So, well,
Well, now
I
that
said
we're
it's
getting
hard. I
it,
didn't say it's impossible.
now, next movie we're gonna do is Rogue One, right?
It's the better of the standalone movies, in my opinion.
Concur.
However,
One?
I feel she is more wooden than Emilia Clarke was.
Oh no, I actually liked her character.
But
I
we'll get
didn't
there.
mind
when we
her
get
character
there.
either.
This movie coming up is truly an ensemble. Like, it's not a lead. Every character is basically sharing screen time.
Yes, yeah. There's no definite main character for it.
Yeah, there's a assumed main, but
It's not really. But,
It's Andor.
well, Andor is actually pretty damn good.
Do you
Not
think
Yeah.
gonna
they
lie.
named him
I
by looking
enjoyed
at, like,
I've seen some of it. It was pretty solid from what I've seen.
it's like and/or.
And but yeah, now we're gonna be pushing more into the original trilogy, which that's definitely gonna be outrating what we have seen so far.
Oh yeah.
Zeros across the board.
Yep, right there with you.
Right. But with that being said, we're gonna call it quits here because I am almost out of a voice again.
And I like
Yeah,
dead.
yeah, we get you. We'll be back tomorrow with some No Bucks Given. So check us out then. Have a good night, folks.
Peace out, bitches.
Night all.
arrivederci.
War games.
All right, wow.
That clothesline was